And hey, let's check out how things are going in the thriving multicultural mosaic of New York City, which is home to one of America's biggest Jewish populations and also welcomes all kinds to come together in peace and love and harmony. Why, you can just feel the tolerance on this New York City street where, yes, a taxi driver is very tolerantly reaching out of his cab to grab an Israeli flag, presumably put there to show support for the Jewish people in the wake of Hamas's massacre attacks, and with love and peace and joy in his heart, the taxi driver throws it to the ground. Charming. And here's some more. This is vision that has just emerged of a shop in Manhattan being set upon by pro-Palestine and, let's be frank, by what we mean here, Hamas-sympathising demonstrators. Attacking Jewish shops. I don't know, where have I seen that before? I don't know, but I don't like it. But I did especially like the guy who there wrapped their whole heads up in those keffiyeh scarves in imitation of Palestinian terrorists. This sort of beautiful tolerance is also being seen in the classrooms of New York's higher education sector. This week, 30 students walked out of a lecture being given by none other than Hillary Clinton to protest that their names had been put up on a truck revealing them, oh dear, as having signed an anti-Israel letter that sought to blame the Jews for the violence. And these students said, quote, "The weight of responsibility for the war and casualties undeniably lies with the Israeli extremist government and other Western governments, including the U.S., which fund and staunchly support Israeli aggression, apartheid, and settler colonization," unquote. Sorry, kids. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and the irony of Ivy League kids using short skirts cause rape arguments is not lost on any of us. But while all the street and classroom level stupidity plays out, I am far more concerned that there are bigger threats in the offing, the result of a toxic combination of elite anti-Semitism and a weak, toxically weak Biden administration. As I reported on the U.S. Report on Friday night, and make sure you tune in every week at 8 p.m., in the fiscal year 2023, some 163 people were arrested trying to cross the southern border who were on terror watch lists. And that's just the ones we know about. And we also know that at least one person was let go who, according to a federal inspector general report, should have been stopped because systems had unfortunately prevented him being identified again as a possible terrorist person of interest. So great work there. But all of this makes the story more chilling when you look at this. Meet Sohaib Abayush. He was arrested, he's a Jordanian national, recently by federal authorities in Houston on firearms charges. And guess what? He's in the United States illegally, with CNN reporting delicately that he is in the country on a quote-unquote expired non-immigrant visa, unquote. Yeah, he's there illegally. Apparently, this charming fellow, allegedly, had spoken about martyrdom, had been communicating with people who, quote, shared a radical mindset, and was training with weapons to, quote, possibly commit an attack. So where is, we gotta ask, Joe Biden in all of this? Well, according to the official White House schedule, the U.S. president has no official events scheduled this weekend. Perhaps he just wanted a nice weekend at home watching Sky News Australia. But before he went off to the beach for, by the way, the third weekend in a row, the president claimed that the very open border that allowed Abayush into the country is actually being enforced and that there's no problem at all.
Enforcing our immigration laws in humane and effective ways that deters dangerous, irregular migration and disrupts traffickers.
Did you get all that? He even suggested that the very policies that are straining America's multicultural tolerance to the limit are actually working.
Working together to stabilize migrant populations, including making sure the communities that are welcoming migrants and refugees can afford can afford to welcome them and afford to care for them.
Whatever, Joe. Later, it was onto the plane, no questions answered, and short stares, please, for that third consecutive weekend at the beach. Now, here's the thing. Don't think the world is not paying attention to this. Here's the president of the Dominican Republic throwing a bit of shade on the president, announcing the next location for the Summit of the Americas.
Mr. President, we look forward to welcoming you soon to the Dominican Republic at the next Summit of the Americas in 2025. And that summit will be in Punta Cana, so you have time to be on the beach.
So you'll have time to be at the beach. Mr. President, if your friends are noticing and saying this and how much time you are spending at the beach, what about your enemies?